Hi friends, welcome to Ignite Coding channel. So today we discuss about Angular template forms. So as its name implies, it mainly derives from template. It uses Angular two-way data binding directive like ngModel to create and manage the underlying form instance. In this video, the topics we will cover is how to implement template form validation with inbuilt validator and how to create a custom validator. So before proceeding with this video, if you find this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support makes us to grow. So let's start. So here I have a template form that I have already made. So before going for the template form implementation, the first step we need to do is we need to import the forms module, because the forms module contains a directive that we use in the template form implementation. So firstly, we need to import forms module in our app.module.ts file. So then we go to our component. Here I've already made a component with name template form and here in the HTML I have taken the two controls, like one control with a name and other with a age, and I have enclosed within the form tag with submit button. And in TS file I have taken a class user detail where I have a two property name and age, and I have initialized this class in template form component class. So in template form implementation, the first directive that we use is ngForm. So what is the role of this directive? This directive will initialize the form group, and the second step we do is we use a template reference variable. This template reference variable help us to manage the form later on when we proceed with the other forms control. So here we have initialized our form group by using ngForm directive. Now if it is initialized, so let's check, does it contains the controls that is inside this form tag. So for this I am taking a div, and here I am using JSON pipe to just for the JSON conversion, and when I go to application I see that currently f dot value does not contain any value. Okay. The reason is because this template form directive does not automatically detect the form control inside its form tag. So we need to register the form controls within the form group, and for that we need to use ngModel directive. So we are using ngModel directive to initialize the form control. And one more thing that we need to do, we take a name property and give him this some name, and similarly we give the name property to this control as a age. So what's the benefit of this? Why we need to this property? Actually this property will act as a key for a form control within the form group. So if you go to the browser, you will see this, the property, the name property that we given, and whenever we insert that value goes for that particular key. And age, now our form group is initialized and our form controls are registered within that form group. Now in template form implementation we use two-way data binding. So for this we will use ngModel, and here whatever the class I have initialized, user details, that I will use in this. Similarly for this one, H. Now with this, actually this is the combination of event pointing and property pointing. Now whenever the value change from template, that will reflect on the component side, and whenever the value changes from the component side, that will reflect on the our template side. So it makes a two-way data binding. And one more thing that we do, we take a template reference variable for this ngModel. So that will later help us to for the manipulation of this particle control errors. So same for this. I'm taking age as a template reference variable, and we enclose this. So our now two-way data binding is done. Our form group is initialized with the form group. The next step we will do is, now we will use the this. Actually, this required attribute is not a part of Angular. It is specified in the HTML5 specifications. So there are many other attribute like that. Min length we can use, max length we can use. There is an email attribute also that we can use for a validation purpose of a control. So here I am using the required inbuilt attribute. So now this attribute makes this field required. We cannot go further without putting any value into this control. So to show the error, I will use a span, and here it is class text changer, and we're using the ngIf structure directive. Like now we'll use this template reference variable to assess this control, that if the name is touched, actually it will give the instance of this form control. Now we can assess the property of this form control, that if form control is touched, name form control is touched, and if name dot errors required, then we will show error name is required. Similar thing that we do for another control. I'm just copying the thing and just changing the reference variable, that is age, and here will be our age. Now our error will be our age is equal. Okay. Now when we go to our browser, and when we do not insert any value, we are getting the our validation error that name is required and age is required. Now the one thing we will do is, we will make, if our form is invalid, we will make this button, register button, disabled. That we cannot able to, with this we will not able to submit the form as our button is disabled. Now if form is invalid, we'll make this button disabled. And other thing we'll use is, we use ng submit event, and here we call a function on submit that we need to initialize within class, and in this function we show alert message that form submitted successfully. Now when we go to a browser, and when we try to, firstly we do not insert any value to these two controls, so our button is disabled because our form is invalid. Now when we put some value and try to submit our submit, we have not saved this. Okay, now we go to browser and some value, and click on submit. Our form submitted successfully alert has shown. Okay, so now we just remove this. Now if we have a requirement like our age should be between 15 to 45 years, so that we don't have any such attribute. So for this, in template form we need to create a directive. So I will go to a, so here I have a directive folder. So I will create a directive within this folder. So here I will go to ng, G for generate, D for directive, and the directive name is age validator. So now our directive file has been created. Here you can see. So here what we need to do is, firstly we will define the providers array, and here we will use provide will be our ng validator. We will use a class this age validator directive, and third will be a multi to true. So these three properties, firstly the provide that we are using ng validator, and here we using the age validator class, and multi true means we are adding this custom validator that we are making to this existing list of validators. Like we have a required, we have a min length, max length. So we are adding one more directive to this ng validators. If we make this false, what will happen? It will override all the existing validators with this one. Then in that case, we only have a one validator that we have just recently made. So we need to make this multi-property to true for the for the existence of the existing validator plus the validator that we have just created. And another thing we do is we will implement the validator interface. And validator interface we need for this method implementation. So in this method we will do if our control will be a where we put this directive that control. So control dot value doesn't equal to undefined, and if control dot value less than 15 or control dot value is greater than 45, in that case we will return the error age not valid property true. So this will return, else we will return. Now we will just copy this selector, and wherever we want to use this validator directive we will just put into that control. And to show the error message, I'm just copying this, and I need to just change, like our message now will be a age not valid. So here we will show age is not valid, and here age is not within range. So that error message will be displayed. Now when we go to browser and put some value below 15, and we will get the error that age is not within range. And if we put 23 that is within the range, then we will not get any error. And in case of higher, again we will get an error. So this is 17, now within the range, and when we try to submit, our form submitted successfully. So our custom validation is working as per expectation. So this is one of the example of the custom validator. Okay, how we can create a custom validator. In case of template form, we will use a directive for a custom validation purpose. And if we want to pass a value from a template side, then we can use the input decorator for that, and we will need to pass a value from here. So that's it. So I will attach the previous Reactive form implementation video link in my description, and also attach this project link, so you can play with it and make your understanding. So if you find this video useful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.